All right, welcome to part 2 of your slide guitar tutorial, specifically covering slide guitar in standard tuning. So like the last video, the part 1 of this tutorial, we're just in standard tuning. So it's E, A, D, G, B, and E. Just E standard tuning. I really hope that the last video was helpful and that you guys have been putting in good time and practice into those techniques that I was showing you. I promise it's definitely gonna make a lot more sense the more you do it. And now, since you've had about a month with that first video, now we get to use what you've learned and actually put them into practice. So apologies that you can't see my face. I found the perfect camera angle and I don't want to touch it because I want you guys to be able to see everything perfectly and hear my nice mic'd up voice, but I'll say hi. There you go. It's me, I promise. What I recommend you guys do for this video is, if you have the capability of printing the tab sheet that I've included, please do so. That way you're not jumping back and forth between windows or screens. You just have the actual sheet in front of you. And then you can really pay attention to my right and my left hand when I'm doing the slide licks and kind of follow along with it on the tab sheet. So let's go ahead and jump into slide lick number 1. This is going to be just a basic blues slide lick. I use this all the time. So many blues slide players use this, and it's actually a great open tuning slide lick that you'll hear a lot in like Allman Brothers songs, you know, old Elmore James, things like that. It's a pretty foolproof blues slide lick, but this is it transitioned into a standard tuning, so not open tuning. So here's slide lick number 1. Here's slide lick number 1, much slower. So we're starting on the E string, on the high E on the 12th fret, and I'm picking that 12, sliding down to 10. And then after that, picking the B string on the 12th fret twice. And then sliding down there to 10. This is what we have so far. After you slide down to that 10 on the B, we're going to be picking up on the G string on the 11th fret. Sliding that up on the G string, same string, to the 13th fret, and then picking up on the 14th fret on the D. So here's all that real slow. Now, what I'll do for all these slide licks, for those of you that may have preferred sticking to the no-pick technique with slide playing, I will play all these licks as well a couple times, normal speed and then a slow speed with my fingers, so then you can see what I'm choosing to use as far as picking with my right hand. So for that, I'm really only using my thumb on that last note, and it's mainly my pointer doing all the work. All right, let's move on to slide lick number 2. This is going to be a major scale slide lick in the key of E major. Slide lick number 2, much slower. So we're starting off on the B string on the 10th fret, sliding to 12. And as soon as I get to the 12 on that B string, I'm going to be picking the high E string on the 12. It's right in place, ready to go. Try that a couple times. After that, you're going to slide from 10 down to 9 on the B string. This is what we have so far. And then, next note, G string, 9th fret, just right under there. Here's that so far. And then you're going to pick 9 again on the G string, slide it up to 11. And then 9 on B and 9 on G. Just like that. Here's that same lick with no pick. So for that, I'm choosing to use my thumb a lot more. Check this out. I'll play it real slow. Let's check out slide lick number 3. So this is going to be a super bluesy, kind of sassy slide lick, and it's going to be in the key of D minor. Again, with all of these slide licks, you can move them up and down the fretboard and put them anywhere. These are just kind of the keys that I chose for them. So here's slide lick 3. Much slower. So we're going to start on the 10th fret on the G string, slide up to 12, and then land on the D string on the 12th fret. After the 12th fret D string, we're going to hit the 12 real quick and slide it to the 10 on the G. It's not going. It's going. So that is a technique that you'll see in a lot of slide playing, and I don't want you guys to get confused on this lick on the tab because it may look like it's going, but we're doing a very, very quick jab on that, and that's one thing that makes it sound like slide guitar, is on that G string, starting on the 12th and quickly going to 10 as fast as you can. This is what we have so far. Much slower. And then the next little bit of this lick is going to be starting on the 12th fret on the A string. And then we're doing that same quick jab on the D string, 12 to 10. So back to 12 on the A. And then here we go. This is going to be a little different. So the 10 on the G sliding to 11. It's sliding to 11 to kind of add a major to it, but it's going to be real subtle. And then we land lastly on the 12 on the D string. So as soon as I slide from that 10 to 11, as you can see on the tab, as soon as I slide there, I'm going straight to the D string on the 12th fret. We don't want to slide on the G all the way to the 12, otherwise it's going to sound like this. That sounds okay, but we want it to be sassy. So it's going from 10 to 11 and then 12 on the D. I'll do that last little bit real slow. So here's slide lick number 3. All right, moving on to slide lick 3, no pick. So if I was to do this style of slide, kind of the more Duane Allman bluesy stuff, I probably would use no pick. I would probably do my fingers because you can just get even crazier with it, like more accented on those jabs. So it's a lot of back and forth between the pointer and the thumb. Check it out. The only note that my middle finger, sorry if it looks like I'm flicking you off, the only note that my middle finger is hitting is that second to last note, the G string 10 to 11. And then landing on the thumb on the 12th fret. One more time. Slide lick number 4 is going to be in the key of D minor. And this is going to kind of have the same feel as slide lick number 3, kind of the dun da 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 dun da dun da dun shuffle kind of feel. Here it is. Real slow. So this starts on the 17th fret, right here on the high E. And you gotta get the timing right on this. It's bum bum ba ba dum bum ba ba da da dun dun da dun dun. So it goes 17, 16, 15, 13, slide up to 14. This is what we have so far. And then after that 14, we go to 15 on the B string. Next, we are going to land on the 14th fret on the G string. And then, this is going to be a little tricky. So it says, after that 14 on the G string, to go straight to the 14 on the B string, but we're doing one of those jabs, like in the previous slide lick, where you're not really going to be focusing on the 14th fret on that B. We're just quickly going from the 14, jabbing down to the 13. See? Just like that. And then ending exactly how slide lick 3 ends, that 10 to 11 on the G, and then landing on the 12th fret on the D. Here it is, much slower. All right, slide lick number 4 with no pick. Ready? So a lot of back and forth with the pointer and the thumb, especially on that jab. Like that. On these high parts, the first couple notes, I'm doing all my middle finger. And then on that 15th fret on the B, I'm using my pointer. Slide lick number 5 is the Charles William slide guitar solo lick. The first lick that I do after that, and stop. One more time. Much slower. This lick starts on the B string on the 12th fret, slide into 14, and then landing on the 14th fret immediately after on that high E. And what I'm trying to do, I'm not really trying to play both at the same time like this. I'm gonna do kind of a mute, and then mainly just try to focus on that high E14. And most of that mute is coming from these two. And then next, we're gonna move on to the 16th fret on the high E, just ever so slightly, 16 to 17. Just like that. Back down to 14 to 12 is what we have so far. And then now, this is probably going to be the hardest thing that we've gone over today. This is going to be starting on the 14th fret on the B. So that lick right there is a little difficult, but I'll do it real slow. So 14 down to 12 on the B. And then a big jump from 14 sliding to 15. That's going to take some practice and some accuracy right there, because it may not seem like a big jump, but when you're playing at normal speed, it's super fast and you got to be accurate with it. This is what we have so far. After that 15 on the G, the 14 slide to 15, we're going to hit 16 on the D string twice. Here's what we have so far. I'll play it slower. And then now we're going to do one of those jabs that I've been talking about. It's going to be on the 15th fret, jabbing down to 14 on the G. Just like that. So those two 16th frets on the D string, 15 on G, down to 14, and then two 16s again, as you can see on the tab. Check this out. All right, here's the whole lick, start to finish. Now, for those of y'all who don't use a pick or prefer not to use a pick, here is that same lick with no pick. And I've done it before. Actually, on the album, on the actual recording, I did not use a pick. Pay attention to my right hand now. Slide lick number 6 is going to be in the key of G, and this is going to be the first lick that we're doing today that features the first position, meaning we're using open strings. So this is great in the key of G. This is going to kind of sound like something that the Rolling Stones would do. Again, much slower. love this lick a lot. It's kind of similar to something that I would play in our song Mountain, which is the verses are in that key of G, just like that. And I do a lot of the licks down there during the verses. Anyway, so it's going to start on the G string on the 3rd fret, sliding down to 2, and then we're going to be picking the open G after that. So pick 3, slide to 2, and then pick the open G. And then after that, we're going to slide from 3 to 5. And then now, 5, slide down to 3, and then we're pulling off to the open on that G string. Just like you would do this, but we're doing it with the slide. Yep, still works. And then after that, well, actually, this is what we have so far. And it's ba-da-dum. Next is the 2 on the G string, sliding up to 3, sliding back down to 2, and instead of the pull off, we're going to be picking the open. After that, we're going to go to the B string, sliding from 6 to 8. So let's play what we have so far. And then the last little bit of this lick is a lot easier than the first part. We're going to be picking it up here on the G string, 3rd fret, down to 2, picking the open, and then playing on the D string, 3, open D, 3rd fret, again, and then sliding 3 to 5. So that last little bit goes like this. Here's slide lick number 6 in its entirety. All right, no pick. So mainly I'm using my pointer finger on that. Once I get to the B string, I'm using my middle finger. And then when I get to the D string, I'm mainly using my thumb. For this last slide lick, I wanted to include a super swampy kind of Delta blues lick that incorporated the use of 2 strings at once. It goes like this. Here it is much slower. So it's very similar to slide lick number 6, the last one that we went over in that first position, key of G, only we're using 2 strings at once. So I'm using both the D and the G on that 3rd fret, slide down to 2nd fret to open. Check this out. So you got to be real precise with your picking. You can either hybrid pick it with your pick and your middle finger, or just do it with your pick. So it's going to go 3rd fret down to 2, down to open, and then 3 to 5, and then 5, slide to 3, pull off, open, is what we have so far. And then we slide from 2 to 3 to open, is what we have so far. And then after that, we jump all the way up to the B string on the 11, slide to 12, and then G string 12 is what we have so far. And then ending the lick is going to be like this. So 3, slide to 2, slide to open, and then single note on the B string, 3 to 5, back down to 3, 3, and then on the G string, 3, slide to 2, and then last but not least, D string, 3 to 5. Here's that last part of the lick much slower. Here's the whole lick. So now here's that same lick with no pick. Much slower.